Hi, this is Jesse Cranu again, coming to you for one more episode of Stories for English, with stories for English students and teachers of all levels, to read for pleasure or to supplement an English course. In this podcast, we look at how literature and stories can supplement lessons and help English teachers and students to further their command of English in a more pleasurable and entertaining way. This podcast is for English teachers and students and teachers at large everywhere, whatever you may be teaching or contemplating to teach. Stories for English is helping teachers teach and students learn. This material is copyright 2016 on all known supports and all supports to come. Today we look at Fedelma, a tale of hope and success. Fedelma, a tale of hope and success. Jesse Cranu. Where there's a will. Fedelma was born into a working-class family, yet from a very young age, she somehow knew it wouldn't last. Every penny she got, Fedelma saved, from an early age, from her earliest days. She would proudly listen to it clickety-click down through the piggy's back of her piggy bank. 1, 5, 10, 15, 50 pence. Working her way up to her first pound. Given the simple condition of her surrounding, she didn't study very hard nor very long, and didn't even make it to O-levels. Still, Fedelma was one of those flowers that soar out of nowhere in a bed of roses to eventually tower over them all unchallenged. Nobody expected them to, and nobody ever seems to know nor understand how much strength, how much hard work has gone into that. Fedelma didn't stop at a 9 to 5. She landed a cleaning job at 16 and stuck to it, clung to it as though to dear life. Fedelma had got her first solid gold independence token with this first hard-earned wage. While all her friends went out to paint the town red, she decided not to spend it but to save it. And she saved and saved and saved. But she didn't spare her energy. It seemed saving gave her energy. And she didn't bend nor bow to the hardships of life. 1, 5, 10, 15, 50 pounds. Working her way up to her first £100. Pushing her way to her first million. People studied. Her friends had a good time. Fedelma worked. She led a simple life, below her means even, for she knew that one day her call would come, her ship would come in. On her meagre wages, she still managed to save for a rainy day still, and rise and shine every morning. 1, 5, 10, 15, 50, £100. Working her way up to her first £1,000. Pushing her way to her first million. People studied, her friends had a good time, Fedelma worked. Fedelma dusted, Fedelma washed, Fedelma cleaned, and Fedelma scrubbed every opportunity she was given. And more cleaning came her way. By then, she had lost count of dirty chores, and her stardust was mere dust. She was now living in her own bedstead, by now 18, and was not to be led astray from her goal. Boys came and boys went, men came and men went, but she had no time for romance, and all she did was work and work and work. She worked mornings, she worked afternoons, she worked evenings, and sometimes she even worked nights. She worked weekdays and she worked weekend days. She worked work days and she worked holidays. Work beat the rhythm of her life and music tuned her work aerobics. Fedelma sang her days away, for she knew that one day Donna Summers once upon a time was reeling and turning on the turntable in her head, soon to be found on her Walkman, 'cause she believed. 1, 5, 10, 15, 50,000 pounds, working her way up to her first 100,000 pounds, pushing her way to her first million. People studied, her friends had a good time, Fedelma worked. Days came and days went, good days and bad days all alike, and it was all work and no play. Still, that didn't make Fedelma a dull girl, for Fedelma had a dream. She had a dream that one day her bygone days would be over. Bygone. Fedelma would live in a mansion. Fedelma would raise a family with all those luxuries life can bring. She would meet Prince Charming, and he would really be a prince, well and wealthy and all. Money doesn't buy you happiness, but sure can make your life easier. People studied, her friends had a good time, Fedelma worked. She strove on and on and on. She ploughed, digging deeper for gold in the dirt, until one day, when she reached 25, Fedelma decided she could use an education. She took a couple of evenings off to attend night classes and get her O-levels. She passed her O-levels with flying colours and went on to get her A-levels. Again, she passed her exams. That was when she decided she needed to broaden her horizon and introduce some general culture into her world. Night classes found her on their attendance list again. People studied, her friends had a good time, Fedelma worked, and worked and worked and worked. Nearing 30 now found Fedelma ready to take the big wide world on. Her old faithful bedsit was now the witness of her exercising for toner, even at the end of her long, hard working days, working like a dog. Nights sleeping like a log. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and pull, reach, stretch, and 1, 2, 3, topping all the exercise she got in the course of her daily work. A solid savings account in the bank, degrees and culture to account for, Fedelma was indeed a serious challenger for all those women born with a silver spoon in their mouths. She had the money, the education, and the looks everybody who knew her praised her for. A careful clothes shopping spree, and she was off to a brassy, classy, sassy nightclub. And did she look $1 million? Boy, you should have seen her. All the heads turned. The rain in Spain, they say, falls mainly on the plains. Eliza Doolittle couldn't have done it any better, couldn't have beaten her to it. She was in no rush. Time had taught her she could take her time. Fedelma by day, Fedelma by night. The two faces of Eve spelt Fedelma's life for quite a while still. She didn't lead a still life. Night after night she danced the night away. So near and yet so far, she wasn't gonna let anybody lead her astray. Time, as usual, was on her side. One man, one woman, a one-man woman work up to no less than Mr. Right. Fedelma let him come her way. She met love, she made love, she was in love. She was in love. After a while, she was married to a man of means, yet never forgot where she had come from. She had her dream life now. Everything money could buy and beyond. Happily married, with a family to care for, to give them everything their heart desired and more. But despite all that, Fedelma's real hit, her real success, was that she had found love. Thanks for listening. Teachers. Teachers may use these stories as a springboard for reading and discussion, or merely for reading and practicing, as well as developing reading and reading comprehension skills while consolidating command of English and language. And of course, our podcast for English teachers and teachers everywhere, Desperate Teachers, where you can find relief and material to help further your teaching and your students' learning. Stories for English is also an audiobook by Tori L. Wilson and Dave Wright, and is followed by more Stories for English, an audiobook by Kathy Broderick, all on sale on Amazon, Audible, Fnac, Kobo and iTunes, while many more of my audiobooks will allow you to get more learning and pleasure from listening. Audiobooks offer the option of listening while working or commuting and traveling, and they can be played over and over again. Let's meet again in our next podcast.